Hello everyone, this here is the world of Edena by Moebius. And this was a world he created that started out as basically an advertisement for a French car maker. Here I had to look up if there was a name for his style. The closest thing I could find was something called clear lines. It's kind of known for being simplistic. I think that's a word that people like to use. But it's actually more detailed than that. It's more like the colors are just simplistic. And they make these interesting contrasts. And there is detail in there that you have to look closely to catch certain things. So here we have a lot of simple shapes. Just a block, a cigar shape. But then you notice this little guy right here. Well, that's not a little guy, that's a normal-sized person. And so you can see this pilot is gigantic. And so this is a large spacecraft that this person is getting into. There's one standing out here, and there's one going deep inside. And here we meet Stel and Aten. And these are going to be who we follow through this journey. Now, I didn't realize it at first because they do keep calling each other he and sir. These guys are androgyne. They are sexless. They are long-lived. And something from Moebius's own form of living had to do with getting too far away from nature. In this case, these guys have been living for a long time off the synthetic processed food. Now, before we go on with that, so here they are, they have crash landed on this planet. And what you discover is that this is a wall surrounding this pyramid, and it's all spaceships because they've all been stranded there. And this is their settlement. And notice a complete difference between all this detail and then this simplicity here, denoting that this is something special and different and sacred, really, to what goes on here. So unlike everyone else, they're able to enter this pyramid, and it takes everyone. The pyramid was waiting for the right person, and it takes them off to another world, and that would be Edena, this paradise of sorts. Now, what happens then is they get to this place, and they start eating the food there because they have no other choice in the matter. They start eating off the trees, eating the natural food there. They really can't stand the taste of it. They just have to endure. But when they are brought here, one thing you notice as it continues on is they start to get a little grubby looking, and their hair starts to grow out, and there is a transformation. This is now a scene where they have gotten rid of their androgyny, and you now have a male and a female. And overcome with his new form, he tries to sexually assault her. And happily, she grabs a rock and bashes him in the face. Now, when I'm sitting there reading this, I'm like, oh, great, this guy's gonna go on some journey, and I gotta watch this near rapist guy go through this book. And that's actually not what's happening here. But I had to go through and finish the story to understand what this is for. If you've ever heard of Carl Jung, he talked about the anima and the animus. The animus being the male and the anima being the female. But it's the animus is the little bit of masculine that is in a woman, and the anima is the little bit of woman that is in man. And here you have them in contrast from each other because now they have to go through it's literally a spiritual journey. Moebius was actually a New Age guy. And he spent, one of the big things, he spent some time in Tahiti with some guru, getting in touch with just eating natural foods and having a spiritual journey of his own. And this whole book reflects this, because now what is lacking here in the animus is empathy. And he has to go through a journey so that these two beings can exist in harmony. They have their separate journey. She leaves him. She hit him in the face, no means no, and blasted him with a rock. Here she is now, in a more, further form. He draws her very beautifully. And she runs into, let's see if I marked the right page here just yet. I don't think we got, a little bit before that. She runs into these people who wear masks. And you have to, some plague they came up with, they worship someone. This is very much a dystopia. And she is forced into this masked guise as well. But there is how shall I say, infidels. There is a sect in here that believes she is this goddess, and they're going to worship her instead of this being they're forced to worship. Along the way, she runs into this fellow this is a dream state. Interesting, when she goes into this dream state with him, she's back in her androgynous form. But then when she's not in this dream state, she, of course, in her female form. Things start to get a little surreal as this continues on, because this is about what you should take from your dreams into the real world, and should you dismiss it or bring it with you and make change. Here we have a nice contrast here. We have the basic shape of a sphere. Down here, a rectangle. This is what the rectangle were, these chairs he's sitting in. And Aten, well, as a female, Etana, but Aten, it gets in this thing, and you see this contrast between the technology and nature. And Moebius wants to leave this behind to get closer to this, so you can still be the person you're supposed to be. So Stell goes on his journey, and he also runs into these masked people. He actually joins them, but he's sort of, he's not serious about becoming one of them. He's, let me learn your ways. And he runs into the actual person behind the scenes who's manipulating all this. And what this guy wants to do is use him in a dream state to be able to take over the rest of this world, this Edena, this paradise. There's a nice picture there. Now, I won't give this all away. I have to bring this to an end at some point. What it is, though, there's an interesting picture here. Moebius, before he was Moebius and he was Jean Girard, he used to do Westerns. And so here's a little throwback here in this story of him doing a more Western-themed form of artwork here. And so this is the journey between the anima and the animus, trying to find harmony with each other. The ending of this book, which I will not give away still, before I get to that, again, so this is your guy trying to take over the world. And here he is above, this contrast between above and the followers. And there is a rebellion trying to start here, and here he is, above and beyond them all, pointing down at them. But the ending to this book, when I got to it, I understand, because I looked up the reviews for this. People were a little taken aback by the ending, like it was tacked on and it just did not fit. And in a way, I don't blame them, but once you understand what the journey is for, and what you should do about what you do in your dreams, and what you should take with you and what you should leave behind, then it becomes obvious that it was indeed the correct ending to place on here. It is a bit open-ended, but it is a theme of hope at the end of this, and going on your spiritual journey. I actually really enjoyed this. The World of Edena by Moebius. If you've ever read The Inkle, he is responsible for that, which became the basis used to make the movie The Fifth Element. In fact, he worked on the artwork and concept art for that. So the legendary Moebius, and I got this for Christmas via request, and one of the better gifts I have ever gotten for me. That's it for that. Next week, I am taking this plunge, The Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I've read three things from him now, and so I have high hopes for this, especially because people call this one of the coolest books they have ever read. Let's see here. The last remnants of the human race left a dying Earth, desperate to find a new home. Following their ancestors' star maps, they discovered the greatest treasure of the past age, a world terraformed and prepared for human life. But all is not right in this new Eden. The planet is not waiting for them. Pristine and unoccupied, new masters have turned it from a refuge into mankind's worst nightmare. Now 2 civilizations are on a collision course and must fight to survive. As the fate of humanity hangs in the balance, who are the true heirs of this new Earth? As my understanding, the opposing alien species in this is a bunch of spider beings. Ick! But people say a lot of this is told from their point of view, and it is some of the best reading they've had on aliens. So that is next week. I can't wait for that. I have another book. Instead of, if I like this book, of course, I'm going to continue the series. It is currently a trilogy. I believe there's going to be a 4th book, though. There is, however, I'm going to interrupt it because there's going to be a book I read after this. And if I'm not mistaken, after that, the week after that, Dresden Files number 18 comes out, and I will read that first before I continue the series. So we will see how all that works out. But that is next week. Enjoy yourself some Moebius if you want to get it. Thank you very much. Have a great, today's New Year's. I'm filming this. I'm going to put it out the following Monday. So Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.